user's number. We enjoyed the show. Thank you so much, Aisha. It's good schools are on holidays because children are watching, and I'm happy that a lot of children are learning from what we are doing. There's a whole lot we cannot take on online, but we assure you before the end of today we'll reply you one-on-one via our tablets. Be good citizens, and whatever you do, try to ensure that you leave good legacy for your children, and time to start is now. We'll be with you again next week. Bye-bye.
Bye. Una bye-bye.
We've become a centre for ivory and pangolin smuggling, and many of our iconic species are threatened with extinction. So please report wildlife crime and say no to illegal bushmeat. And let's work together to win for Nigeria. Keep them wild, keep us safe.
Look at the clock. I cannot believe it.
When a truck spills its load, when a fuel-laden tanker falls, after a road accident involving valuable cargo, let's not see this as time to steal or loot. Stealing or looting in the face of disaster isn't just illegal. It is a betrayal of our shared humanity. Let's come together in times of disaster, not to take, but to give. Our focus should be on helping the victims and reporting the incident.
Hello and welcome to the news at 10 live on NTA News 24, and we're in Abuja. I'm Comfort Amodu. President Bola Tinubu directs the National Single Window Steering Committee to ensure platform becomes fully operational by first quarter of 2026. Central Bank of Nigeria targets single-digit inflation, retains 27.5% interest rate. Federal government pinpoints digital tax intelligence as antidote illicit financial flow. The Minister of Education, Dr. Tunji Alausa, sets 2026 as commencement date for WAEC and NECO computer-based examinations. President Bola Tinubu has directed the National Single Window Steering Committee to ensure that the platform becomes fully operational by the first quarter of 2026. Chief of Staff Femi Gbajabiamila, who represented the President, delivered the directive during the 5th Steering Committee meeting held at the State House, Abuja. He said the recent Tax Reform Act signed into law in June underscored the urgency to speed up the reforms and push towards achieving Nigeria's $1 trillion economy target. And the Chief of Staff, who emphasized the role of a unified electronic platform in simplifying Nigeria's import and export operations, also highlighted the importance of financial and trade reforms in achieving national economic transformation.
The critical objective of streamlining international trade by creating a centralized electronic platform for processing our import and export transactions cannot be overemphasized. Indeed, it will not only boost investments and trade revenues, but ensure transparency and credibility of Nigeria's readiness for business.
Members of the National Single Window Steering Committee, including Ministers of Finance and Industry, Trade and Investment, spoke on the progress of the committee's assignment.
We are so close now that my concern and question will be, let us focus on any area of difficulty.
So just to commend the steering committee and to say let's keep on track and let Q1 2026 be an actuality.
Launched in April 2024, the committee seeks to consolidate all agencies involved in imports and exports onto a unified electronic portal. This is expected to reduce trade costs, cut delays, and enhance transparency and efficiency at Nigerians' ports. Senate has approved federal government's 2025-2026 rolling borrowing plan as captured in the 2025 medium-term expenditure framework and fiscal strategy paper. Also approved is President Tinubu's request for the issuance of FGN bonds in the domestic markets by Debt Management Office worth 757 billion naira to settle outstanding pension liabilities under the contributory pension scheme. National Assembly correspondent Lami Ali reports.
The approvals were among several considerations at plenary as Senate resumed after a week of mourning following the demise of the late former President Muhammadu Buhari. The approval of the 2025 and 2026 foreign and domestic borrowing plan also includes the establishment of foreign currency denominated issuance program in the domestic debt market.
22 states in the federation are going to benefit from these different loans as outlined.
We now have all sources of revenue to fund the 2025 budget in place. Eastern Rail Line from Port Harcourt to Maiduguri. A provision that was put in the budget, $3 billion. I didn't need to look at any other thing to support this borrowing plan.
With the tax reform that we have come up with, you will see that even as we are today, we have not defaulted one single time in our repayments.
The Senate Committee on Local and Foreign Debts, in the report it submitted containing recommendations, explained that all the borrowings are on concessional terms with low interest rates and reasonably long amortization period. Senate has passed for second reading the Nigeria Export-Import Bank Act Amendment Bill to make it more responsive.
Diversifying our economy, earning foreign exchange and creating jobs. So to effectively fulfill these crucial responsibilities and compete globally, the bank must be adequately recapitalized.
By recapitalizing this entity, by repositioning its governance structure, by moving it from Minister of Finance to Minister of Trade and Industry, is something that you need to be commended for.
Also passed at second reading is the bill that seeks to provide legal framework for the National Safe School Initiative.
To implement measures to prevent and respond to safety and security threats, such as bullying, violence, and natural disasters, in order to promote more positive and supportive school culture.
The philosophical cornerstone behind this bill is against the backdrop of avalanche of various security breaches in our schools across the nooks and crannies of this country.
Meanwhile, Senate has set aside Wednesday, July 23rd, for a special session in honor of the late former President Muhammadu Buhari. The lawmakers also paid tribute to the late Abuja of Ijebuland, Oba Sikiru Adetona, who joined his ancestors, and the late Kano State business icon Alhaji Alhassan Ntata.
Allahumma agapirhu.
Special prayers were offered for the repose of their souls and a minute's silence observed in their honor.
The soul of all faithful departed be granted a Jannah Fidal by Almighty Allah. Amen.
From the National Assembly, Lami Ali, NTA News.
And still on the activities of the Senate Majority Whip Osita Angu says the National Assembly has appropriated funds for the completion of the Enugu-Onitsha Road. He, however, urges the Ministry of Finance to release funds for the completion of the project. During an inspection visit, Senator Ungu says it remains the primary motorable route connecting the southeast to northern part of the country.
This road is the best road, federal government road, that you can take from Oka, passing through 9th Mile to Umulungwe, to Opi, when you are going to the north. We all can see how good the road is, and this is the best that we have here. The road has been under construction for the past 6 years.
And the House of Representatives has approved the report of its Public Accounts Committee recommending that 29 federal ministries, departments and agencies of government are to refund 10.4 billion naira to government coffers. This followed the consideration of the report of the House Committee of the Whole. National Assembly correspondent Mitairi Ikpen reports on these functions.
The report of the House Public Account Committee had 20 recommendations drawn from investigative hearings based on the annual report of the Auditor General of the Federation for 2019 and 2020. The committee said it received and considered written and oral submissions of 60 out of 74 MDAs.
Government vehicles were taken away. 4 heads of MDAs upon their exit from office and are yet to be returned. Abandoned project observed in Nigeria Embassy in Sao Tome and Principe after spending 245 million in 2011. The project is at foundation level up till now.
The ranking member mentioned that this report may affect the jobs of certain people. So be it.
We must escalate this report for Nigerians to know the real people who are behind the problems that we suffer in this country as Nigerians. It's not as if one is totally and finally indicted. This document goes to the executive arm for implementation.
Most of the countries in West Africa are considering 2024 report as we speak. We are still talking about 2029, 2020 report.
The House passed the 2025 appropriation bill of 1.48 trillion naira for Rivers State, clarifying that the budget is for the fiscal year and not just the period of emergency rule.
We can't do a budget for the next 2 months or 1.5 months remaining for the expiration of the emergency rule. When the House of Assembly is restored, they have the constitutional rights to take this budget and take a second look at it.
9 bills were passed at Thursday's plenary, including bill to amend the Federal Road Safety Commission Establishment Act to empower the commission with responsibility for road traffic administration and related matters. Several other bills also passed second reading.
To amend the Nigerian Defense Academy Act to provide for right of first refusal into the NDA specifically for successful NMS graduates.
Following an urgent motion, the House condemned the United States' decision to downgrade visa status for Nigerians.
Urge the United States Embassy in Nigeria to rescind the new visa policy decision and restore 5-year multiple entry visa regime previously granted to Nigerian citizens.
Coming under personal explanation, a member of the House called for clarity in court judgments.
Where a judgment of a court is subject to different interpretation by the parties, where the litigant says the judgment of the court says this, and the plaintiff says the judgment of the court says this, it is conflicting. And as members of parliament, Mr. Speaker, I think it is important for us to advise our judiciary.
At the close of plenary, lawmakers wrote tributes in honor of former President Muhammadu Buhari. From the National Assembly, Mitaire Ikben, NTA News.
And away from the National Assembly matters, Minister of State Finance Doris Anite believed that the success in the fight against illicit financial flows must move beyond dialogue to the deployment of real-time data exchange, robust enforcement and strengthened accountability. Benny Adams reports that the event is the opening of the 2025 National Conference on Illicit Financial Flows in Abuja.
From transactions on the streets to boardrooms and digital platforms, Nigeria on a daily basis loses money through illicit financial flows, a shadow economy of tax evasion, money laundering and corrupt dealings that continue to drain the nation's commonwealth and undermining progress.
It is estimated that Nigeria loses about $18 billion annually due to profit shifting and aggressive tax avoidance practices.
If retained, these resources could transform investment in education, health, infrastructure, and subnational development, particularly amid shrinking development aid flows.
This is why regional governments and experts at this conference are harmonizing ideas towards combating illicit financial flows. This is as they believe that each unaccounted dollar undermines governance, erodes trust, and translates into losses.
Criminal networks adapt quickly, whether through secrecy jurisdiction, a manipulation of beneficiary ownership, or digital innovation. Illicit actors continue to outpace traditional enforcement. Our response